Alrighty, what is going on everybody? Of course, my name is Blitzwinger and welcome on back to another brand new Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare action figure review. And today, of course, we're going to be taking a look at the fourth and final set of figures, which is, of course, provided to us by Diamond Select Toys. So check out www.diamondselecttoys.com for plenty more awesome products and, of course, details on Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. So, with that in mind, of course, as you can see, this is the Foot Soldier Zombie set along with the Camo Cactus, which is pretty fantastic indeed. The Camo Cactus looks massive. He looks like a ginormous cucumber in package. Now, what I'm super duper excited by is the fact that the Foot Soldier actually gets two different heads, which is something that we haven't seen done with any other figure in this line. So, in terms of value, I think that this is the most value-driven out of the whole bunch because, I mean, you get a really nice big plant, you get a zombie, two different heads, two different weapons, which is fantastic. So I'm super duper excited to check out this set. That's why I really saved it up for last. Well, that plus I love the Foot Soldier. It's my favorite zombie class to play as. Now, of course, on the back of the packaging, we can see the rest of the set, including the Engineer and Zombie Chomper. Sorry, Engineer and Zombie Chomper. I did that again, didn't I? Engineer Zombie and Chomper set, which I reviewed first. Then I reviewed the Scientist Zombie and Gatling P as well, which is fantastic. And then, of course, last time we were looking at the All-Star Zombie and Shadow Flower. And today we will look at the final set, which is the Foot Soldier Zombie and Camo Cactus. I'm really hoping that we get more of these. I hope that they're going to be successful enough to where we'll be able to get some different variations, like different chompers. Like imagine getting a what is it called? Chompula, or maybe like a bandit cactus or future cactus. Oh, that would be so cool. The paleontologist, for example, scientist would be kind of awesome. Sanitation expert engineer, or the plumber engineer, that'd be kind of cool. Golf star, all-star, that would be really sweet. I mean, there's just a lot of really possible cool variations that could come in the future. But with all that in mind, of course, let's go on ahead and get this set out of package and take a look at all the goodies inside. And of course, I will also be giving away two codes that are included on the inside, which is for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. So without further ado, let us get rocking and rolling. Alrighty guys, so I have got the Foot Soldier and, of course, the Cactus out of packaging. And I have to say, once again, super duper impressed. Camo Cactus looks awesome. And, of course, the Foot Soldier looks even more awesome than that. So, before we get to the actual figures, of course, as always, we will give away the code here. So here's an Xbox 360 code. Go on ahead and snag that up. Of course, first come, first serve. And then, of course, here is the Xbox One code available to you as well. Make sure to use it before January 1st, 2015, or else it will expire. So, as always, we will kick things off with the plants side of things. So here is, of course, the Camo Cactus. So, of course, he does come disassembled in terms of being like this, which does look kind of weird. So you have to put his nose in, or I guess technically this would be kind of his mouth nose. And he looks awesome. Look at the amount of paint on this guy. It's incredible. The amount of variation of different leaves and stuff that they tried to create the camo look is really sweet. I love the flowers up here. They're done up really nicely. They're not articulated or anything like that, but again, it's still really nice, and it really kind of, like, I really am blown away by how well they're able to give so much personality to these 3D dimensional toys or action figures or statues, whatever you want to call them. I mean, it's just really mind-boggling to me how they're able to take so much personality from the game and then transfer it into a 3D form and do so in a very successful manner. So I really do find that to be quite impressive, and it's probably quite challenging to pull off to such a high extent. It's really interesting how they did the prickly design. Of course, him being a cactus, he does have to be a little bit prickly and stuff. They're actually a little bit sharp, so I would say, like, for a little kid, this would not be recommended, obviously, because they could potentially hurt themselves with this thing if they're not careful and stuff like that. So yay. I don't know what the age restrictions are on the packaging. I should have probably checked. Let me see, does it say anything on here? It does say not for children under 3 years old, so there you go. That's what it is. Wablam. But again, I think it's really well executed. He's really hefty. Like, he feels so heavy. Like, if you threw this at somebody, well, you don't need to do ever. Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless if there's a real zombie apocalypse and then there's a zombie coming at you, maybe, just maybe you could consider having your Camo Cactus fight it by throwing it at it and running for your life. But nonetheless, obviously be very, very careful with that side of things. He does rotate at the waist, so you can kind of like have different areas into which he can shoot. You can, of course, also recreate the whole element of him reloading, so you could have his arms being pointed forwards and then come back up like so, which is pretty cool. I find it really interesting how the one arm is a little bit shorter than the other. It gives it a little bit of a nice aesthetic going on in terms of it's not uniform on both sides, so it does give it a little bit of a asymmetrical look, which I actually do appreciate quite a bit. The prickly design in the camel paint does follow through, as you can see, into the arms here. They are also really nicely articulated, so he can pull them right into close to his body or really far out, as you can see, which is pretty awesome. So the range of articulation that they managed to get on the few points that are on these figures, the points that are there are really, really effective and do accomplish a lot. They're not just there for the sake of being there to say, oh yeah, we've got a gajillion points of articulation. They're there to accomplish something, to recreate an element from the game, which I really do appreciate quite a bit. So once again, there's lots and lots of range in terms of how far you can move these. So that's really, really great to make your cactus stand out versus the others. Again, there is a joint right down here as well, and to my surprise, he is actually, or ends up being, the largest of the plants by quite a substantial margin, as you can see here. So here's basically the entire plant lineup right here. We've got the pea gatling, the shadow flower, the chomper, and then of course the Camo Cactus. So in terms of height, you can see that he is obviously substantially taller than the other three, and then in width, he's also quite substantially taller as well. He's very, very hefty. He's really the only one of the sets where the plant feels like he's the main character. Like in the other sets, it feels like the zombies got so much more love and everything. And don't get me wrong, wait till you see the foot soldier, who's awesome, by the way, spoiler alert. But in this set, it feels like a lot of the attention and a lot of the budget for this particular pack went to Mr. Camo Cactus here, which is fantastic because I think that they make for an absolutely fantastic group, as you can see right here. They make for just a really awesome looking team that you definitely don't want to mess around with, especially if you're a zombie. So with that in mind, now that we took a look at the cactus, let's go on ahead and bring in the other member of this dual pack or two pack, and that is of course the foot soldier, who has an incredible amount of personality in his head sculpt. I love that right away. That was the first thing that jumped to me. Then was the incredible amount of detail in this figure, such as the way that they did the torn up shirt, how up here it's still locked in, so he's still wearing it. The helmet right here, there's little details right there. I never even noticed that the gun had a boot at the end of it. Like, I never realized that. And I'm probably guessing that it is his boot because he's lacking one. There's a hole in his sock. You can see his shoe has begun to split open quite a bit, which is quite cool. The paint on the shoe is just so well done. Like, again, it seems like such a minute detail, but because it's there, it just brings the figure to life in such a better way, which I really, really do appreciate. Speaking of which, I kind of forgot. Like, for example, look at the attention on detail right here. Like, look, they even painted the inside of his nose there. You can see the little dots painted in and everything. I mean, that's just the kind of things, like, you're never even going to notice it. Why put it there? But it shows you that the people who are working on these definitely care about trying to make the most authentic looking product possible, which is really, really cool. And I'm always in favor of that, of course, especially when it's some property that I love, like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. So with that in mind, you might have noticed that he does come with a stand similarly to two other zombie characters, which is of course the Scientist and the All-Star, but he can actually stand without the stand. Again, he does take a little bit of finagling, like you have to get it just right there. Right now he's standing without a stand, as you can see. It's much better with the stand. The one thing is, do not try, the stand has two pegs, do not try to have both legs locked in, because what you will end up doing is stretching out his legs this way. So you just need one peg. Use the one that has the sock on it because the sock is flatter, so the sock will allow for a better connection point. So I would recommend to utilize that. Similar to the All-Star, it does take a little while to get the figure, the peg into the actual peg hole here. Like, it takes a little bit of finagling to get it just right, but once you got it right, he's sturdy, he's not going anywhere, and he's going to be quite set to go. Now, one thing that you're going to need to do once you get them out of package, I forgot to mention that at the beginning, is the rocket launcher, or the ZPG rocket launcher right here. You're going to have to slide it just in, and then of course it acts as the rocket leap right here, and then he would kneel down and fire away the rockets, which is very cool. So you can basically kind of take advantage of all his different abilities except for the smoke bomb, which I guess that's the one accessory that's missing from this guy to be complete. But on the bright side, the other accessory that he gets is a really awesome head sculpt, which is the Super Commando head sculpt, or at least that's what I'm thinking it is. It would have been awesome to get a crossbow as well, just so you could kind of recreate that particular character class. But again, before I get to showing you the head sculpt, I should have showed you the gun. You can see some really nice details. The previously mentioned boot, the buttons right here are really lovely. And then, of course, you can go ahead and remove the gun quite easily. You will notice that his trigger fingers get a little bit warped out of shape when you push them in there. So just be careful with that, I guess. The other hand is not meant to hold the weapon, so do not try to do so. Yeah, that's pretty much all that there is on the weapon side of things. The head is super ridiculously awesome in terms of articulation, which is fantastic. Look at the range right there. I mean, that is fantastic. Side to side, wherever you want to go, you can go, which is super duper sweet. The arms are fairly well articulated as well. Then we've got a cut right here, so lots of range there. The waist is also articulated, so this guy's, I'm not sure if he's the most. I think he's on par with the Scientist. Let me remember. Now, the All-Star had a little bit more articulation in the arms, from what I recall, but the Scientist, I think, had, like, remember how I mentioned with the Cactus, how he doesn't have a lot of points of articulation, but the ones that are there, they're effective and they get the things you want done. The same goes with the Foot Soldier here. His points of articulation are really dynamic and really help recreate all the different looks, or majority of the different looks that you would want to do. Like, for example, you can't see me, because of course he's a big John Cena fan. Now, let's go ahead and remove the head and see what he looks like with his other head sculpt. So I'm just going to remove him off camera so I don't break anything. All right, that's the head coming off, and the other head coming on. Come on. Okay, it's a little bit difficult. Okay, it's a lot difficult. I'm almost done. I can do this. I can do this. Blitzwinger, you can do this. Stop this. Here, you guys can look at his head for now. Just kind of being there and like, oh my god, what happened to me? I don't understand. Well, if my camera focuses, that'd be awesome. There you go. Alright, so now I will try to force this into its proper position, which is easier said than done, especially because his hair is spiky, which makes it very challenging to push on the head, because you end up hurting your hand. Like, look at my finger right there. Look at my finger. Look at my finger. It's all because of this spiky hair here. All because of Mr. Spiky Hair over here, trying to be some sort of rock star with his spiky hair. But with this head sculpt, because there is no helmet, you can see the range of articulation is even greater than it was before. Like, you can do a lot of really cool zombie-esque expressions, which is awesome. Very clean paint job again. The nice little Rambo reference here with the of course, the red bandana, I guess you would call it, or headband, I should say. And again, really, 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 really awesome execution here. A really large amount of accessories for this set. I think that kind of like to get your money's worth, this is the set that you want to try to pick up. And then if you like the set, you can kind of try to get the others. I would recommend all of them. Honestly, I would, especially to a big Plants vs. Zombies fan, of course. Just because, like, look at how cool they look once you bring them all together. So here's the zombie squad. We took a look at the plant squad moments ago, but here's the zombie squad, and you can see, like, look at that. That is just an awesome display piece that would look cool. You could have, of course, the zombie squad ready to attack against the plants squad as well. So let's go ahead and set that up. I think that would be an interesting look to see here. And there you go. War is now ready to be waged between the zombies and the plants once again. So, there you guys have it. Of course, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please don't forget to smash that like button, share the videos with your family and friends, favorite the videos as well, and of course, I will indeed catch you guys next time. Peace out. See you laters, alligators.